Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Thursday, it's August 18th of 2022, and we do have lots to talk about again, including a lot actually of information from Princess right now. So first of all, a couple of things. I want to start off talking about the new program that Princess has just announced that they are launching. It's a new upgrade program, and starting on September 6th, if you are booked on a cruise with Princess, you are going to be able to start bidding on an upgrade. So the way to work is if you are booked, then you have the option to put in a certain dollar amount that you would be willing to be upgraded from a cabin that is better than the one that you've got. And so first of all, I wanted to let you all know who maybe would be newer to cruising that when you get on a ship, as we all know, there are lots of different cabin types. You've got your interiors, your ocean views, balconies, and lots of other options. And honestly, the bigger the ship is, the more options there are. But there are also different categories of staterooms within each stateroom or cabin type. So you could have a balcony, and then there's all these cabin categories based really on where they are located on the ship and maybe how big they are. And so this will make it so that you can book one cabin type and then put in how much you would be willing to pay for a cabin that is in a higher category than what you've got. And so the way it's going to work is starting on September 6th, if you are booked on the Caribbean Princess, the Discovery Princess, the Enchanted Princess, the Regal Princess, or the Ruby Princess, which are all of their ships based in North America right now, you will be able to do that. And then they said it should go out to the rest of the fleet and be available sometime in October on their other ships. Now, it doesn't say if it's going to be it says the Princess upgrade process is simple. Once the sailing is within the final payment period and full payment has been received, guests will receive an invitation to take part in the program and submit a bid. They can bid on any stateroom category that is above the one that they are currently booked in. Guests can change or cancel their bid at any time before it is accepted. And so there are the rules for you, and so you can start thinking if you want to bid on a better stateroom than what you've already got. So that'll be an option. Now, another thing that I wanted to let you all know about is on the Princess website, I have been really keeping a close eye on the protocols, and ever since Princess made their big announcement last week about taking away pretty much most of the testing requirements and the vaccine exemption requirements on sailings that are 15 nights or less, and they have really just kind of been tweaking their wording as well as putting in that big statement. But they have made a few updates that I think are noteworthy, and I want to talk to you about it because it gives us an idea of what to expect. Now, remember that all of the protocols as they are everywhere stay in place until September 6th. Nothing changes until you hit a sailing that leaves on September 6th or after, okay? But a couple of the things that I wanted to make sure that you are really clear about is starting on September 6th, as I know today is already August 18th, and so September 6th will be here before we know it. They have lumped together all of the voyages that are departing from the United States, the United Kingdom, and Europe for most of the protocols. So once that happens, here's what you need to do. So U.S. voyages, if you are fully vaccinated, and that means that you just have received your COVID vaccines, then if you are sailing from the U.S., the U.K., and EU, you are not going to have to take any testing unless you are on a voyage that is longer than 15 nights. So if you're 16 nights or longer, you're going to have to do that test. And if you are on 16 nights or longer, you are going to have to do an antigen or a PCR test that is medically assisted. So in other words, someone is like you're either doing like the Optum or eMed with your with a healthcare provider on the video call, or you're going in person to somewhere, or you've got another test and you're like doing the on-point testing is the one that I'm familiar with. So you're going to have to continue to do it that way. Now, if you are fully vaccinated for voyages from the UK and the EU, that means that you are fully vaccinated and have have received your first booster that you are eligible for, and nobody in the cruising industry is talking about the second booster yet. That is just not even on the table. So don't be worrying about a second booster. So the testing requirements, though, are the very same as though you had not received a booster. Okay, if you are on that 50 nights or less, you don't have to sail. You don't have to be tested. And if you are on 60 nights or longer, you've got to do that antigen or PCR with a health care provider proctoring it within 3 days. And if you are not vaccinated and you are sailing on any of these cruises, it says that not fully vaccinated are welcome to cruise if the cruise includes a Canadian port or an additional medical exemption is needed. And so if you are not vaccinated, you're just going to get to do the self-administered antigen or a medically assisted PCR within 3 days. That's for voyages that are 15 nights and less. If you are on one of the longer ones that's 60 nights or more, it's the same thing. Well, not quite the same, sorry. You have to do a medically observed PCR test or antigen test within 3 days. I shouldn't have said the same thing. When you're on those, if you're not vaccinated and you are on those sailings that are 60 nights or longer, you don't have the self-testing option like they do on the 50 nights or less, okay? Now, there's a couple of really important exemptions to these rules. And it says the enhanced guidelines, the ones that I told you that are 60 nights or longer, include the Panama Canal full transit, transocean crossings, special voyages, and then the Greek guidelines are different, and I'll let you know about that, and the same with the Canadian guidelines. It says, note that all Alaska voyages include Canada and must follow Canadian guidelines. And so the Greek government has issued their own testing requirements. It says, and this is new, everybody, this is new. It used to just say for voyages departing from Greece. Now it says for voyages departing, arriving, or visiting Greece, and then they've got a whole table for Greece here. So here's what it says for voyages departing, arriving, or visiting Greece. So if you are going to visit Greece on a cruise, you're going to leave from Greece on a cruise, or you are going to arrive, like your final port is going to be in Greece. These are the things that you have to do. So as far as being fully vaccinated goes, you have to have done, of course, your original vaccine dose. And they are also asking that if it's been more than 9 months, 270 days since you received that original dose, that you do a booster. So that's required, and that's required for everyone ages 18 and up. And for everyone in ages 18 and up, if you are fully vaccinated, with that booster, you are going to have to do the antigen test within 2 days or the PCR test within 3 days, and it needs to be medically observed. So none of this doing it on your own. And I should add, it has to be medically observed in person. And the guests will need a physical letter with the negative results. Test results proctored by video are not accepted. So whether you're going to be departing for a cruise, in Rome or anywhere else that is going to call in Greece, I hate to say it, but you're going to have to get that test in person. Now, when we were in Rome, because I know a lot of Princess Cruises leave from Rome that end in Athens or visit places in Greece, there were a lot of places that would do the COVID testing. Right over next to Termini there is a big tent, a big white tent, and they had testing going on there all the time. The tour guy, if I were going to Greece, if I were sailing out of Rome again right now and going to Greece, I would be going to the tourguide.com simply because what they do is you select a time, the testing location is over by Termini, and they guarantee that you have got that appointment. So you're not going to go somewhere and they're going to say, oh, we don't have your appointment, because I could see that happening. You have a way to do it, and then you can also make sure that they help you get it printed out. I would think that they would print it out. I don't think that that's a problem at all, but be aware that you've got to have that paper. Okay, they can't just email you the results. If they email you the results, you've got to figure out where to go get them printed. If you have that kind of problem, I would talk to your hotel and ask them if they can get those they can print out your email for you or whatever you need. But that's what I would do. That's the most reliable thing. Either that or ask your hotel. The hotels there are really adept at telling you where you can get the COVID test that you need. And then I would check with those until I was really sure of where I was going to get my test on time and get my paper results. So that's what I would say. So now that I've sidetracked there, let me tell you what the restrictions are. If you have only, it says that, so that's fully vaccinated 18 and above. That's what they're requiring, that booster, everything. Now, if you are fully vaccinated and you are ages 5 to 17, you have to, and you do have to be fully vaccinated, by the way, between ages of 5 and 17. And that just means you got your regular vaccine. You don't have to have had a booster. You have to do your antigen test within 2 days, your PCR within 3 days. Now, if you are not vaccinated and you are going on one of these cruises to Greece, it says you're either up to date or you have not received the complete COVID-19 vaccine series. So like if you were supposed to get like 2 Moderna and you only got 1, you are still considered unvaccinated. Please contact us to receive a vaccination exemption to be presented at embarkation. So on these cruises that go to Greece, if you're not vaccinated, you have to have an exemption. And in addition to that, if you're ages 5 to 17, your antigen, well, it doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're 5 to 17 or 18 and older, you still have to do your antigen test within 2 days or your PCR test within 3 days. And then once again, it has to be done in person. And so I gave you my best ideas on where I would get tested in Rome. Like I said, they have lots of, like their pharmacies there, they have like that green plus sign on them, like as part of their sign. And you could go to one of those and ask, but I would definitely, like when you arrive there, just figure it out. And you know what? This is me. But if I were getting to go to Rome, I would probably, if I wanted to do it through my hotel, I would call them before I went and I would say, do you know a place that I can for sure get my COVID test and get my results? And I would want the name of the place so that I would know to be able to check on that before I went. Otherwise, I would book my test with the tour guide and I don't get anything. The tour guide doesn't know me from anybody, not at all. But we've taken tours with them and they're always excellent. They always are like right on time. They do an excellent job. So I would just do that because you know what, when I get to Rome, I don't want to be like wasting my time zipping around trying to find out about a COVID test. I want to get there and start enjoying Rome. That's just me, but that's what I would do if it was me. And so I thought I would tell you that. So if any of you have any other suggestions on testing, any other ideas on that, definitely put them below. If you're departing on a cruise out of Athens or anywhere else, and this, like, you know, there's lots of other ports, of course, that cruises can sail from. So I would definitely, like, if you really don't know, call your hotel and ask them. But that's one thing that I would do. And I know that in, I think in Barcelona, I know the Barcelona airport has testing. I know that the Rome airport has testing because I saw that. And there's just lots of, so if you really don't know what to do, call your hotel and ask if they know a place. I'm really sorry that it is so complicated. Now, and you know what? The tour guide offers tours in like lots of European cities. And so you could look up and see if they offer testing options. And I sent them a message really quick. And that's how I found out where the testing location was in Rome. They're like, oh, it's just right at Termini. So I was like, okay. Because I just wanted to know where it was in reference to everywhere else that I would be or in reference to where I was staying. So there's all that. If you have more questions, put it in the comments below. If any of you have suggestions on places to get tested, definitely put those down below because it will really help all of us. Now, the next update that I have for you is a couple of people have been so kind to send us updates on Princess ships. So we've got our Let's Go family member there on the Discovery Princess right now in Alaska. They sent this to me last night, so they were heading to Juneau. It says we are having a delightful but soggy time, so I think it's been a little bit rainy. Buffet serve is good with self-service. The main dining room is very good with excellent service. The ship is full with tons of activities and entertainment. The spa is wonderful. The crew is amazing. My bottom line, he says, is cruising is back to normal. So I was really happy to receive that. So thank you. And then we've got another Let's Go family member who is on the Crown Princess, and they were in Skagway yesterday. Now, if you didn't know this, the Crown Princess has not had any of her calls in Skagway interrupted because she docks at a different port than the one that is right next to where the landslide was. And so she said that they have been having a wonderful cruise, absolutely enjoying enjoying it. So it sounds like everything is going splendidly on the Crown as well. I also want to add that earlier this summer when that coronavirus, when the COVID variant was so contagious and so many people were catching it, I heard from lots of people about them catching COVID on the land tours or on the cruise ships. And you know what? I am just not hearing that anymore. So it doesn't mean that there's probably no COVID. I'm sure there always will be a little bit, but it seems like it's a whole lot less. And so I think that's really good news as well. So if any of you are sailing on a Princess ship or any other ship, I would love to hear from you. I also wanted to let you know we've got an update from the Island Princess, and I really appreciate our Let's Go family member for sending this. They said the captain came on yesterday to say that there was a problem with the fuel line to one of the generators, which meant that it cut out and tripped the systems. They were in the dark for 12 minutes, and they said it felt much longer before the backup generator kicked in, and sometime after that, before they were on the move again, but they have caught up with where they should be, and they will call in Iceland on time. So I thought that was really great news as well. And the Emerald Princess sounds like their problems are solved. So no matter what ship you're going to sail on, sounds like everything is working really well right now. Now, the next thing that I wanted to update you on a little bit and get your input on is the Norwegian Viva, which is the newest Norwegian ship, was supposed to start sailing earlier this summer, and then they had to cancel some sailings, and they have had to cancel some more sailings on the Norwegian Viva because she is just behind coming out, and they do cite the shortages due to the supply chain, which is really from the effects of what has happened really to our world with COVID. And so the sailings that were mainly canceled were in the Mediterranean and some, I believe, in Northern Europe. That's where she was going to be these next few cruises. Now, I would really like to know if any of you were booked on that and what you're going to do, because Norwegian has given people the option that you can either cancel your cruise and get a full refund, or you can sail for 20% less and go on the Norwegian Getaway and go on a comparable cruise. Now, to me, comparable does not mean identical. And so one of the things that I have looked at these itineraries that I have thought was really cool about these sailings of the Norwegian Prima, particularly in the Mediterranean, is they had an overnight scheduled in Istanbul, which I think would be fabulous. And so let me know if any of you end up taking the offer to sail on the Getaway and how your itinerary changes. I think that would be really helpful for everyone to know. And if any of you move over and then get that itinerary, send it to me. And then maybe that will help inform the choice of some people who haven't quite decided yet. I know that you're going to have to let them know pretty quick what you want to do, but I would really appreciate hearing from you on that. And then also, if you were scheduled on the Norwegian Prima and you don't want to move to the Getaway, because truthfully, you were going to sail on a brand new ship and go on a fabulous itinerary, and now you will be going on a fine ship because she's just not their newest, biggest, latest everything. So let me know what you decide to do, how it goes, and just everything. We'd really like to know about that. Now, we've got one other update. I have been trying to find out specifics on river cruising and everything about how the drought is impacting everything in Europe. And yesterday, I talked a little bit about an itinerary change on the Norwegian Prima, I think it was. You can listen to my video there and see. But I think that was it. And she's not a river cruise boat, clearly, but they have had to make some changes. And so I just wanted to let you know that our Let's Go family member, Hetty, was so kind. She is going to be sailing on Holland America's newest ship, the Rotterdam, on August 2nd of 2022. And that was another one of the Rotterdam's cruises that was supposed to start sailing out of Amsterdam. And so what happens is they come in from the ocean and then they have to go through the lock to be able to get into Amsterdam. And with the water levels being low, they can't do that. And so her sailing October 2nd is also going to be sailing out of Rotterdam because they cannot get into Amsterdam. And I think that that's probably going to be the change we are going to see until they get a lot of rain there and can get those water levels up. So thank you very much, Hetty, for that update. And if any of you are sailing on any river cruises right now or recently back, please do let us know what you're hearing, because I think that really helps inform a lot of us, and it just helps us all stay up to date on what's going on in cruising. So if any of you have any other updates that you would like to share, or anything from any cruise you're on or have been on recently, we would just love to hear. I thank you very much for taking the time to share it with me. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would invite you to please subscribe. We need you with us. It helps our channel out. It doesn't cost anything, and I would love to have you. And if you appreciate these updates, please do give this video a thumbs up, and I will look forward. I will be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.